This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate here. That was the first time this morning I made eye contact with Austin Ward.
Sorry, this phone, I just can't put it down, man.
It's okay. No, I'm not going to criticize you for that. I'm just saying. It's the
I
first time
just
we
want to
actually
be
looked at each
prepared
other.
for
No,
2 hours of talking with you. And
You
give me that show sheet, and I'm like, man, this guy wants me to just go through the paces this morning. I better load up with all the information I can get before I lock eyes with him and show that I'm ready for morning juice.
I'm a little disappointed, by the way, that you did not apologize to me.
I'm not sorry about it.
No, the fact, look, so the show sheet, just so you know, peek behind the curtain, folks. I'm Tito. That's Austin Ward, Bodie Wells over there. But I do a show sheet every night for the next day. And there are certain things that are built in. This date in history is built in. Quick hitters, what's got you juice. That's three of the things right there, among other things as well. And normally on Wednesdays, I can build in a segment where Austin Ward comes on sometimes.
Hey, well, here's
the mix.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be on the
own
show
that
at
segment?
7:20.
I know, I'm saying, though, but like I still have to come with a segment, though. But, so, I'm not going to
You know what we
about
should
that.
do,
It's okay.
Tito?
What's that?
Let's
You got an
just
idea?
we'll book it on the fly.
No, it's fine.
We'll talk about Ohio State football. How about that?
It took me 7 additional minutes to get the show sheet done, and personally, I blame you. I am Tito. He is Austin Ward. Bodie Wells over there. We are Morning Juice. 2 full hours here on YouTube, fan app, and HD3. You can download the show anytime and catch us from 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV Plus. Hear a replay of this award-worthy show.
He's calling his shot.
I am. That's right. On Fan 2, 1460 a.m. from 1 to 3 p.m. Morning Juice sponsored by Riverside Bank and in Dublin and Event Risk Elite Protection. Bodie, where else can they find us?
That'd be on Twitter and Facebook.
And that's true.
Confirmed.
Right?
Definitely Twitter.
Okay.
And
That's
I was
fine.
getting
Just
to
let me know.
Facebook
It's okay.
here. Yep, we're on there.
Right.
I think we've kind of, God bless Ben and Tyler, we've really
Yes.
steadied the ship.
Yes.
At first, I'd say, maybe not even at first, when we first switched to Zeta, I would equate us to a Chris Ash defense where we really couldn't tackle, block, stop the run, or get after the passer. But now we've steadied the ship. We're doing all right.
Jackson, Calgary tonight at 9:30. Cavs host the Sixers tonight at 7.
Staying up for that one, Tito?
I'll be honest with you. No. But we do have a big show lined up for you today. College football rankings came out. And this is where another struggle behind the curtain here. I'll tell you this. I want to talk about it at 7 o'clock, 7:20, somewhere in there. We'll talk about some of the stuff with the CFP rankings. But I have to touch on it at least at the beginning so people don't complain. And Ohio State.
Which people?
Those people. Them people. But Ohio State comes out with the number 1 ranking in that CFP. It was a spirited debate last night. And I'm sitting there, Austin. I'm watching the show with my son and my wife. And my wife is like yelling at the TV, yelling at Joey Galloway. By the way, Joey Galloway asked her out in college. So I don't know if there's a bias there. She said no.
No big deal.
My son. Wait, bring this up. We brought this up during watching. Like, hey, I think that guy used to be smitten with mommy. And Artie says, who? And I said, Joey Galloway. And he said, Mom, Joey Galloway really asked you out? And she said, yeah. And she said, well, why didn't you go with him? I'm like, Artie, just
Easy,
time
buddy.
some breaks, okay?
You wouldn't be here, son.
Well, maybe not. Maybe a different, a different form of him. But I said, no, I don't. And she said, yeah, I didn't date football players. And
Athletes.
They did
just-
season
she
ticket
brought
holders,
it
though.
out. I
Let
don't
me tell you.
No one with athletic ability.
She could have said, I was waiting for your dad. She could have said, I'm really glad I waited for your dad. She could have said anything. All she said was she had this rule: I don't date football players. Didn't inspire a lot of confidence in me. I didn't go take a pill for it, but I'm just saying, it did not inspire a lot of confidence in me.
You'll be all right.
Thoughts and prayers. Anyway,
She still did choose you. She didn't have to explain
no, I don't think
it.
so. Look, we'll go back. I don't know if she chose me or not, as much as she settled for me.
Whatever. That's still a choice.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Anyway, good morning to all the juicers out there tuning in right now in the chat as well, and on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all those places. So the CFP last night, and I've already listen, this is where I'm going to contradict myself. I will tell you right now, don't anybody of any fan base get angry about the CFP rankings from last night. But I also have a segment here we'll tell you why this team got screwed. But that's okay. We're going to back up here. Are you surprised Ohio State was 1?
as we previewed it yesterday on Morning Juice, Tito, I said I'm kind of on alert for the fact that maybe this committee, and after all of the strength of record conversation that was primarily driven by the SEC and their hurt feelings at the end of last year, they had to make sure that Lane Kiffin got his tears all wiped away nice and clean by the selection committee this time around. And I thought that maybe Texas A&M, because of that specific metric for the first release of the rankings, that maybe they would have A&M number one or even Indiana, because both of those teams, according to that specific metric, are ahead of Ohio State, where the Buckeyes are number 3.
Right.
But anyone, I think, with a set of functioning eyes and plenty of other metrics that they can point to will see that Ohio State is number 1. And then you also have humans in the room, and they're like, you know what? This team also won the last 4 playoff games they were in. Maybe we should give them the benefit of the doubt. And I'm not saying that they did that either, but you look at this, and it's easy for them to build the case that Ohio State, on paper and on the field, and also playing out in the minds of all of these selection committee members, like, this is the best team in America. Let's not mess around, because here's the problem. They have to do this every week. And if they turned around and made a change next week after they beat Purdue, you'd say, well, what was different? Well, how did that improve their resume?
Right.
So if you think you're going to wind up in a spot where Ohio State and Indiana are number 1 and number 2, then you better put them there right now. So kudos to them for doing that. It feels weird to me, because you say, well, who got snubbed? What did they get wrong? I don't really have anything about the first batch of rankings that is noteworthy. I think that they did a fine job. It pains me to say that in some ways, but maybe it means we can get through this without a ton of the drama and nonsensical, well, you're behind a team that you beat head-to-head stuff. Now, the only spot that really stood out in that regard, Bodie, would be Notre Dame and Miami. But who's actually going to build a case over what's happened over the last 6 games for Miami and Notre Dame that there's anything wrong with that? So the truth is, the only team in the top 25 that I'm like, what are they doing there, was at 25, because Tennessee is a terrible football team that hasn't accomplished anything. And if we can get that far down in the list and not have anything to get worked up with, good job, committee.
Yeah, we got the applause button over there. Bodie could have hit that.
It wasn't worth a round of applause. No, that's too much. It was worth.
Much, right.
It was worth 4 claps.
It was 4 claps. Yeah. Okay, 4 individual person claps.
That's right.
Yes. All right, we will talk more about that in the second hour, I promise you. But right now, let's let. I guess Bodie's going to make me smarter.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Bodie Wells.
All right, fellas, happy Wednesday.
I was late.
That's all right. No complaints here, Tito.
Thank you.
We'll start here, November 5th, 2025, the 309th day of the year. Just Quentin Nelson, Tito. 56 days left in this 2025. All the way back on this date in 1872, in defiance of the law, women suffragist Susan B. Anthony votes for the first time. It was illegal, but she still did it anyway, and she would be arrested.
It's illegal.
I mean, it's illegal to drink and drive. People could still.
I understand that, but they have somebody out there, though, like in front of the polling booth, right? That
nowadays, I mean,
hey,
this was 1872. I mean, this was nearly 200 years ago. She would be arrested and later fined $100, but she never paid the fine, and law enforcement never took further action. So good for her, man.
Wow.
Got away with it, basically, in some ways. Back in 1895, George B. Selden is granted the first U.S. patent for an automobile. That worked out pretty well for him, I have to imagine.
Not bad.
In 1912, Woodrow Wilson is elected as the...
Oh, dude, are you seriously?
It's my favorite game right
What's
here.
the year?
That would be 1912.
32.
Pretty solid guess there. He was the 28th president of the United States of America.
All right.
Okay.
File it away.
Okay, no, file that away. No, really, file that away,
28.
Tito.
Got it. 28,
Because in 1940, Franklin D. Roosevelt, FDR, he had already been president, but he was the first and only president of the United States to be elected as to a third term. He was the
32.
There you go, attaboy. 32nd president.
Here we go.
He's back, baby.
Yes.
Yeah. Some not so good news here on this one. Back on this date in 1941, the combined Japanese fleet received top secret order number 1. That would be in just over a month's time. They were to bomb Pearl Harbor. That would, of course, happen in just a little more than a month here on December 7th of 1941, thus entering the U.S. of A. into the Second World War. Back on this date in 1956, if I can get my mouse here, 1956, the Nat King Cole Show debuts on NBC. It is their first nationally broadcast television show hosted by a black American. There you go. On this date back in 1967, the New Orleans Saints earned their first NFL victory as they beat the Philadelphia Eagles 31-24. Just a year later, in 1968, the Detroit Tigers' Denny McLain, he was the first American League pitcher to win the MVP award. He won it unanimously. So obviously he was the runaway favorite there. Yep,
31-6 that year. That was the record.
That'll work.
Not bad, yeah.
Guys don't really pitch 37 games anymore.
Went to jail for racketeering at one point.
Well, hey.
I know.
What if you spent like 5 minutes memorizing the order of the presidents?
No,
just rattling off Denny McLain's 1968 season like it's nothing.
Gibby was 25-3 back in 1978 with the Yankees, by the way.
Who was president?
Here we go. Speaking of, on this date in 1978, Richard Nixon is elected as the...
In 78, you said?
Or 68.
Okay, sorry, now you messed me up.
Okay. 1968, Richard Nixon is elected as the blank president of the United States of America.
I want to say, I'm between two numbers here.
Okay. Let's hear it.
36.
Okay, what's your second number?
37.
There you go.
6-7.
Well, listen, you're going to take one. If you're going to get one off, I mean, most of the time I can get within one or two. And I feel like that's fine. Right. 1971, the LA Lakers began a 33-game consecutive victory streak as they beat the Baltimore Bullets 110-106. The 71-72 Lakers, widely regarded as one of the very, very few best teams of all time in NBA history. On this date in 1983, Billy Joel begins a 5-week run atop the UK singles chart with this catchy tune right here. That's a pretty good one right there.
That is. By the way, if you don't ever think it's beneficial to be a popular singer, go back. I want you to look at Billy Joel. Look at Christy Brinkley. Look at Joel Brinkley. Joel Brinkley. And
He's
tell
had
me.
a few different wives.
Take a look.
I know he has, but
Lyle Lovett, Julia Roberts.
Another one. There you go. It's a great example right there.
On this date in 1988, Tito, Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take
Kokomo, Beach Boys.
Kokomo by the Beach Boys from the film Cocktail tops the charts. It is their first hit in 20 years, and for this website at least, to date, their latest.
Baby, why don't we go Jamaica off the Florida Keys? There's a place called Kokomo. That's where you wanna go to get away from it all.
Around that time, also, the Monkees had a resurgence.
Okay.
So you had Beach Boys and Monkees. Monkees with That Was Then, This Is Now had a huge resurgence there. MTV played episodes of the old Monkees TV show for a while, but that was like there was a weird thing in that era that was like the Beach Boys and Monkees, both groups from the 60s, got really popular again.
So you're saying that nostalgia has always
been always good. Yes, I'm telling you, but Monkees, by the way, greater than Beach Boys, but whatever.
What about Squeeze?
Yeah.
I got Monkees over Squeeze and over Beach Boys.
No way.
What I'm doing.
Squeeze had been undefeated.
I know, but you go get some Monkees, that's a big deal.
Every
Davy
great
Jones,
run
Michael
comes to an
Nesmith,
end.
Mickey Dolenz, and Peter Tork are the Monkees. Yes, that's the original boy band.
Hey. They're the monkeys.
They are the Monkeys. Yes, they are.
On this date in 1994, George Foreman, at the age of 45 years old, becomes boxing's oldest heavyweight champion when he defeated 26-year-old Michael Moore in the 10th round of the WBA fight in Las Vegas. I'll play the clip and then let you know, actually.
George Foreman enjoying his best round of the fight here in round 10. There's a right hand. Down goes Moore. He's flat on his back. He may not get up. Not maybe. He's not moving. Moore could be about to lose the heavyweight title. I don't believe this. So Cortez pulls up the count. It is over. And George Foreman has pulled off the miracle that no one thought possible.
You believe in miracles.
Yes! Gut punch a long way from the heart.
Moore is still down. Moore cannot get up. He's still down. He doesn't know where he is. He's bleeding from the nose. He walked into a picture-perfect left-right combination.
An unbelievable, a stunning finish.
Listen to it,
10 rounds of a heavyweight championship fight that has left this MGM Grand crowd of nearly 15,000 in total disbelief.
I was told to relay the message from one Anthony Rothman who walked in yesterday when I was cutting up that audio to you, Tito, that Rothman used to go and watch fights at the Continent.
Yeah.
And he said he was there for that one. So.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so I worked games at the Continent. I worked for the home office, actually, but also at the Continent then. We had a downstairs, like, banquet room that we never used except for really special events. And that night, I was at the door letting people in. We charged $20 a ticket if you want to come in and watch it. And that means I would have taken I would not have let Rothman in. Back then, I didn't know Rothman. No, I'm telling you the truth. Like, look, I love you, Anthony. But at that point, I wasn't in the media world necessarily. But did I turn all the money in? Maybe.
80% of it.
Statute of limitations expired. You're good.
I don't want to vacate wins, but I'm saying, like, if Rothman was there, that's amazing to me. Oh my God, I got to talk to Rothman about that because I had no idea he was in there that night. But yes, we were charging $20 a ticket to get in. We had special tickets printed up, and we gave some away at Damon's for winning trivia contests. And then that event, though,
That's how Shark got in.
yeah, oh yeah, well, Shark already get. Of course, Shark comes in with a halo. He's a legend. We know who he is. But if you look at, like, back then, what a huge. That's like one of those eras that we'll never have again, where everybody in there is so emotionally and financially invested in the fight. And it was such a huge thing.
Sports gambling wasn't legal back then.
How
though,
were they
Tito.
financially invested?
Well,
Tito?
because they
just
gave
jump on
me
FanDuel?
or they gave the Continent $20. They gave somebody $20 to come in there. So
Yeah, he heard that when I was cutting it up yesterday. He's like, I'll tell Bobby. I was like, oh, sorry, our Bobby's off. He's like, well, tell Tito. I was like, okay, I can do that.
Oh, I guess tell Tito.
that's fine. I have no idea. Look, I didn't recognize him. I apologize, Anthony. I would have let you for free. I'll give you $20 when I see you.
On this date in 1996.
That's off the record.
No, I'm not going to do it. Just so you know.
On this date back in 1996, Bill Clinton is reelected as the president of the United States. That would be number 40.
Clinton?
Yeah.
2.
1. Close. Once again,
You said
we'll take
Bill
it.
Clinton. Okay, got you. Now I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, Hillary didn't win.
Yeah,
I know, I just
she
get
was
confused.
close. She
I
also
thought
wouldn't have
41,
been 42
okay.
either. That's all
She
right.
would have. That's okay.
2007, the Android mobile operating system is unveiled by Google. That'd probably be the chief rival there of the Apple iPhone, I would say. And then a couple dates here. I don't even have one of these two written down, but Tito,
Well,
I
let's
figured
do
you'd
it.
enjoy it.
Sure.
The first one that I do have written down on this date in 2022, Alex Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals scores his 787th goal.
Comedy.
That passes Gordie Howe of the Detroit Red Wings for the all-time NHL record for most goals scored for a guy on a single team. Of course, he would pass Gretzky this past spring. Also on this date, Tito, Notre Dame hammered Clemson, undefeated Clemson, 35-14, and Marcus Freeman's first signature win.
Wow.
Didn't even write that one down, but thought you
You just
enjoyed
knew it,
that.
though.
Yeah, just
He
knew
knew
it. Yeah. Birthdays on this date. Born on this date in 1911. He passed in 98 at the age of 86, but born on this date in 1911. The singer, actor, and TV host Roy Rogers. He was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. Born on this date just a couple years later in 1913. The actress best known for her role as Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, Vivian Leigh. She passed, sadly, in 1937. Just the
Frankly,
age
I
of
don't give a damn
53.
about that.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That's what she said. That's her line.
Okay. I was going to say, geez.
Never
that's
saw
a
it.
little-
No, she said, frankly, no. Clark Gable said to her, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Talking
Either
to her.
way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to,
Exactly.
Tito.
Right.
Born on this date in 1952, sadly passing away just last spring of 2024 at the age of 71. The 1978 NBA MVP, two-time All-Star, two-time NBA champ, the Hall of Famer, and frankly, could have been one of the NBA's best if he had stayed healthy, but definitely was one of college basketball's best players of all time, Bill Walton.
This is an excellent shirt, by the way. I've got one of those.
This is your shirt.
That's my shirt.
It is.
Quack, quack.
People doubted whether you actually drove to Temecula.
No, I went to Temecula and brought you some dirt.
Don't.
You do it like this. You get it. You sort of rub it on. You get it, and then you just sort of, okay, now I'm ready to go. It's National Popcorn Day, please. Party on. It's a wonderful day. It's Oregon. The sun was out. Come on.
I think with Brooks on the floor, his goggles came off.
He's getting up quicker than Nate Robinson did. I'm not a very good catcher. I'm much better at getting high than getting low.
They always entertaining on the broadcast.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. One of the best to do it there. Born on this date in 1955, turning 70 years old today. I feel like we've been on quite the run recently on Today in History in the last couple of weeks. We had Kim K, we had Caitlyn Jenner, and today we got Kris Jenner.
One of the things that Tyra's going to want to talk about is the sex tape. When I first heard about Kim's tape, as her mother, I wanted to kill her. But as her manager, I knew that I had a job to do, and I really just wanted her to move past it.
It's good to be level-headed with those sort of things. You got to be a mom and a manager.
Got to be able to compartmentalize the sex tapes.
I will tell you this, and this is I can't believe I'm saying this on the air.
Here
My
we go.
3-minute sex tape was released and not get nearly as much play.
I can't say that.
I thought it was going to catapult everybody to stardom.
Look, it was a really good 3 minutes. So the fastest 3 minutes in sports.
Rise to fame, though, nowadays, especially being here on the Juice each morning, like if it got out today, hypothetically, maybe it would make a little bit more waves. Born on this date in 1950.
I made ripples.
And the Canadian singer and songwriter and guitarist turning 66 years old today, Bryan Adams.
Got my first real six string.
He was like 7 in 1969, by the way. Look at his age in 69. Look at his age in 1969.
Well, listen, what was he supposed to do? Say summer of 1984? That didn't roll off the tongue
I know.
quite like.
The rhyme is what I was telling you, though. The guy's a liar.
Okay, fair enough. Happy birthday, Brian.
Not every song has to be autobiographical.
You're a fake guy.
Turning 57 years old today, the actor Sam Rockwell. Been in a good chunk of stuff there. A couple movies I noted were Iron Man 2, and then he was the crazy dude in The Green Mile.
He's a great dancer.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Just know that off the top
I just know it off the top of my head,
Fair enough. Born on this date in 1973, turning 52 years old today, the two-time All-Star and two-time World Series champ, baseball outfielder Johnny Damon.
I apologize.
Oh, what's he apologize?
Go on. Okay. People who run ball clubs, they think in terms of buying players.
Oh, here we go.
Your goal shouldn't be to buy players. Your goal should be to buy wins. And in order to buy wins, you need to buy runs. You're trying to replace Johnny Damon. The Boston Red Sox see Johnny Damon and they see a star who's worth $7.5 million a year. When I see Johnny Damon, what I see is an imperfect understanding of where runs come from. The guy's got a great glove. He's a decent leadoff hitter. He can steal bases, but is he worth the $7.5 million a year that the Boston Red Sox are paying him? No. Baseball thinking is medieval. They are asking all the wrong questions. And if I say it to anybody, I'm ostracized. I'm a leper. So that's why I'm cagey about this with you. That's why I respect you, Mr. Bean, and if you want full disclosure, I think it's a good thing that you got Damon off of your payroll. I think it opens up all kinds of interesting possibilities.
Bleep you, Grady. Or no, I'm sorry. I totally butchered that. It's the old, I'm not going to fire you, Grady. Bleep you, Billy.
Yeah, now you're fired.
Now
I'm
you're fired.
Yeah. It was the only thing, look, I love the movie from a
entertainment standpoint.
It's got a semi-historical.
Yeah.
But
It's definitely not accurate to the T, but
Look, Tim Hudson, Mark Mulder were on those teams pitching-wise. It's like they didn't get played up very much. It was more about that, but whatever.
they also
Why do you
up,
need one of the best pitching staffs in baseball? How does that help you?
They also play it up as like the scouts hated everything about Billy Beane, but they actually were pretty on board with it.
Yeah.
Also, I'd argue that the Boston Red Sox don't mind that salary. Once
Seems like
Damon
it turned out
hit the
all right
grand
for him,
slam and the also 2-run home run in Game 7 of the 2004 ALCS against the Yankees.
Going back to Gone with the Wind, how do you pronounce her last name?
I said Vivian Leigh.
I think it's Lee. That's
Lee?
what Rick
Okay.
asked also. Look, I don't know either. I'm not correcting you for that reason. I'm
Vivian.
saying, like, Rick, it was Vivian Lee. I think that's correct now that I heard that stat. But, yeah, Vivian Lee. So if you're looking at 1939 movies, yes, we got that wrong. I apologize.
There we
Thanks, Rick S., for correcting us. I'm not saying I'm being honest on that. But, yes, I wouldn't have known. I would have said Vivian Leigh also based on the way it's spelled.
Yeah. Born on this date in 1974, turning 51 years old today, Jerry Stackhouse, the longtime NBA guard. He is currently a Golden State Warriors assistant coach.
Did he coach somewhere? Wasn't he a head coach somewhere in college?
I think you're right on that.
Obviously, it was the North. I'll look it up. You
Okay,
do
I was
think.
gonna
I'll look
say,
it up.
you
No,
were
I'm gonna
looking
look
at
it
me
up.
like you want me
You got anything to do over there, buddy?
I'll keep rolling here.
Yeah, you do think.
Turning 45 years old today, the Australian actor, older brother of Chris and Liam, kind of unfortunately the third most famous of the three, but hey, still a pretty famous family. That'd be Luke Hemsworth. Turning 41 years old today, a longtime NFL kicker. He is still with the New York Jets. I looked it up yesterday. He is perfect on the season. Good for him. Nick Folk, still hanging around there, turning 41 years old today.
What a career.
Got something close there, Tito?
April 5th, 2019, Stackhouse got a 6-year deal with Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt, okay.
And then he was one-time SEC Coach of the Year, fired on March 14th, 2024 after disappointing 9-23 record. He led the Commodores to a 70-92 record, it said, and failed to make the NCAA tournament. Even though he was Coach of the Year one year in the SEC, he never made the NCAA
He was
tournament.
Coach of the Year, and they couldn't get in the
SEC,
dance.
in the SEC.
They let 68 teams in.
Yes.
One of Tito's favorites here, I have to imagine.
Come on,
Nah,
Carp.
this is tongue-in-cheek. This isn't too mean. Turning 38 years old today, the singer-songwriter, part of the Jonas Brothers. Once again, kind of like Luke, the third most
Did you
famous of the
find
three.
Where's the
but
Love?
That would be Kevin Jonas.
I'm a sucker for all the subliminal
Not the one I wanted.
about you.
I wonder where's the Love. This is a drummer kid?
Guitarist.
It's true, I'm a sucker for you. Yeah.
Joe and Nick are definitely the two more famous of the three. But
Got to have
listen,
the power
that's-
rankings.
Yeah.
And then there's
nothing like Robert Parrish was still, one of the
You're right.
best.
You're right.
There's
You're
also
right.
a
had Berta
bonus
McHale,
Jonas in
but-
there.
Yeah, I know.
Number
Who's-
4.
Who's the
I didn't
fourth
even
one?
know that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not a big Jonas Brothers fan, but go ahead.
Well, he just wasn't in the band. He just kind of cast to the side. So he's actually
Seems pretty
finishing
harsh.
finishing third out of the brothers is pretty high.
Is it Jerry Jonas, the owner of the Cowboys?
Yeah, it's him.
Born on this date in 1987, turning 38 years old today, the 7-time Pro Bowler, 6-time All-Pro Super Bowl champ, and Philadelphia Eagles legend, center Jason Kelsey.
Podcaster.
I was going to say, where's he ranking the Kelsey
Yes.
brothers? Probably number 2, I would have to imagine, in terms of famous and
I
popularity.
will tell you this. I doubt T. Sizzle writes a song about him. So I think he's okay.
You never know.
No, she won't.
Maybe
But
eventually.
the brother-in-law knows no.
She makes a lot of music. man.
T.
She
Sizzle.
does. That's all the also. I thought you were
Talking about Terrell
that's
Suggs
exactly
over here?
who I thought you were
Was T.
talking about for
Swizzle?
a second too.
T. Swizzle?
I would say just T. Swift or Taylor Swift.
I think there's a
don't-
T. Swizzle thing then. Okay,
I
that's
don't
fine.
think so, but
I think there's T. Swizzle.
if you say so. Also turning 38 years
Tay-Tay.
old today, the third overall pick in the 2008 NBA draft, O.J. Mayo. He had a pretty solid start to his career. Then he got suspended for
Yeah.
PEDs, and he was out of the league pretty quickly.
Never officially suspended, like for life kind of thing, but
Yeah.
never played after that initial suspension. He went down to Cincinnati. Played down in Cincinnati. I don't know which school he played for, but then transferred to West Virginia, I think, for his senior year of high school.
Okay.
But
Played
he
for
was
Southern Cal, right?
Yeah, and then went to Southern
College,
Cal
right.
after that. He's one of those. I can't remember what school it was in Cincinnati. I wish I could. I'll look it up, but go ahead.
And then last birthday here, born in the state in 1992, the 3-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champ with the Rams, got hurt at like halftime of that game, but turning 33 years old today, Odell Beckham Jr.
Play action. And Manning's going to heave one. There's a flag. Beckham, a one-handed catch. How in the world?
Oh, my goodness.
and Brandon Carr was back there. I mean, he is insane. How do you make that catch?
Oh, my goodness. This is sick. Put this to music. I don't think he stepped out either. That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen.
Defense number 39. Penalties decline. Result of the play. Touchdown.
You have to be kidding me. That is impossible. That is absolutely impossible what he just did. That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
It's in the conversation.
Wow. After being fouled. I mean, he was clearly fouled on the play, and that's clean. That's not... Oh, that's ridiculous.
I mean, he does it basically with his thumb and his forefinger.
I cannot believe that play was 11 years ago.
Well, look, like with O.J. Mayo, if you told me he's 37, I'd believe it. Just because how much we've talked about him, how many times he's like resurgent kind of thing. The fact he's 33 is amazing to me.
Yeah. Still relatively young, although for an NFL player.
O.J. Mayo, by the way, started off playing in Kentucky.
He's still on O.J. Mayo. He's just really locked in over here.
This part fascinating.
I love it.
Back in Kentucky, grade schoolers could play high school basketball. When Mayo was a 7th grader, he played for the high school team and averaged 23 points a game. And then moves over, goes to North College Hill in Cincinnati, and then transfers over to West Virginia for his senior year. And then ended up going to USC, which was a big deal. But yeah, he was a guy that had all this potential. He was one of those, the next guy.
Next thing, yeah. And he never really panned out.
Yeah.
Wasn't a terrible NBA player, but he was traded on draft night for Kevin Love, and Love was far and away the better player in that trade there. Just a couple passings here on this date in 2015. George Barris, he was an American engineer and car designer, passed away at the age of 89. Probably most famously known for designing the Batmobile for the 1960s TV series Batman. So that's a pretty good one to have on your resume. And then passing away on this date in 2022 at just the age of 34 due to a drug overdose. Not a fun time there. The singer-songwriter and rapper Aaron Carter. Some holidays and observances today. We have got, if my computer will load here, today's November 5th. Yep. Okay.
Yes, it is.
National Controlled Environment Certifier Day.
Oh, good. Celebrate that with a cake.
It's National Redhead Day.
Also, all right. Yeah.
Let's go. Love Your Red Hair Day. It's American It's American Football Day. That's good for us.
That's
there.
every day.
First of all, I'm tired. Don't say American football. Let's just say football. Go to hell, football. We are football.
It is Gunpowder Day. It is National Advent Calendar Day. I feel like that probably could have been
Seems
in
a
December,
little early
but
for
that's
that.
all right. Hey, some people already have their Christmas lights up and whatnot. National Chinese Takeout Day, National Stress Awareness Day, and last but not least, World Tsunami Awareness Day.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know that we have to worry about those.
Don't
in
overlook
Ohio,
those tsunamis.
Tito, that's what I got for you. November 5th, 2025, the 309th day of the year, just 56 days left until 2026.
Well done as always, Lieutenant. It changed my day because I was going to work today, but now I'm on tsunami watch. I just got to be careful. Look, I know, pop up anywhere. Got to be careful about that there.
Anywhere?
Anywhere. Well, okay, maybe not, but I don't know. But yeah, okay. Coming up next, the NFL trade deadline came and went yesterday. We will talk about the impact of that. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
Hey, does this sound like you where every step or reach is a reminder that it hurts? The pain is there. A reminder of what you're not able to do, how far you've drifted from that life you used to have and love where you didn't have the pain. Listen, if this is you, if this is a family member, you need to talk to them about it. You need to do what I did and go to QC Kinetics. They've got the answers for you, the relief without the scalpel, without the surgery. At QC Kinetics, they tap into your body's own regenerative power. The damaged tissue, it can be healed by itself. It's not science fiction. It's your body's comeback story. The very cells in your body can help you get healed with no surgery, no pills, no long recovery, just remembering how to move and feel alive again so you can golf, hike, do all the stuff you love to do. So go check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus or 380-208-4544. They have offices all over Columbus, so be sure to check them out at 380-208-4544.
Hey Columbus, it's Lorenzo Stiles Jr., Ohio State student athlete. It's football season, and just like on the field, success starts with the right game plan and the right team. That's why I'm proud to team up with Monogram Homes. They're the true custom home builder bring precision, creativity, and attention to every detail, just like we do on Saturdays. If you're ready to build, don't settle for standard. Go custom. Go Monogram. Visit monogramhomes.net to start building today. Monogram Homes, a builder you can trust.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I.
And then we.
Brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together.
Established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
At National Geographic Society, we believe in the power of wonder. It drives us to explore, pushes us to see the world differently, moves us to action. And we believe that today, wonder is more essential than ever.
Wow.
That's why we're supporting a new generation of explorers to ask big questions, make breakthroughs, and bring the future closer. Wonder awaits. Will you join us? Visit natgeo.org/wonder.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Morning Juice. Tito, Bodie, Austin. Tomorrow is a Brody Thursday, though, as we should have Albert Breer on tomorrow around 7 o'clock, and also 7:05 Pride Fair, your highness tomorrow as well.
Whoa! I missed the boat on that one.
Oh, you missed it, man. But it could be, who knows with Bob. Bob might say, you know what, I don't want to work tomorrow either. And that's fine.
Okay, I'll leave my phone on.
Leave your phone on. Are you feeling in somewhere else tomorrow yet?
Not yet.
Okay, there we go.
Anything can happen.
It's a possibility there. NFL trade deadline was yesterday.
How about them Cowboys?
Hey, look, the Cowboys did
Jerry promised moves.
Yes, he did.
Bodie, do you like the move the Cowboys made?
I don't know. I guess we'll see. The problem is like even if that move works out, broken clock is right twice a day.
I know.
I don't trust the rest of the roster to all of a sudden find this infuse of talent under the Jones family regime.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that I'm locked in every Jets game, but Quinnen Williams, pretty good player, right? As far as I know.
Yeah.
So you reinforce your defensive line a little bit there, but also the back seven of the defense is still just garbage. I mean, with all due respect to those fine young men who are playing their hardest on Sundays for the Cowboys, like, unless you're going to get so much pressure on the quarterback every drop back and stuff the run like no other, they're still probably going to be in trouble. And I know I saw a bunch of people saying like, look, Dallas turned Parsons into this and this, but actually they kind of turned it into this and this. I don't know, man. There's no rhyme, like there's no possible avenue, in my opinion, for the Parsons trade to work out well. Mm-hmm. Even if all those picks that they've kept, some of them they've shipped out now, but even if a couple of those, well, I guess they only got 2 first-round picks from Green Bay, but even if one of those like turns into an all-pro player,
right,
your process was still broken. And so it's great if it turns out that way, but I can't say my confidence is sky high. And even now, you look at the NFC playoff picture, Dallas is still 3-5-1.
Right.
You're telling me they're not going to win the division.
No.
Like there's no chance of that. Barring Philadelphia completely falling apart.
They won't.
And I don't think so either. And then even looking at some of the other teams in the wild card race, then I don't see Dallas getting ahead of any of those teams. So it's kind of a trade for the next few years, which is fine. I mean, Quinnen Williams isn't 34, he's 28, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
When you're trading those picks to a contender like Green Bay, and Micah Parsons is only going to elevate the Packers, well, that's going to make those first-round picks even less valuable to Dallas. Like, it's not a situation where you are going to guarantee yourself a top 5 pick in a spot to draft Darvell Reese and replace him.
Right.
I mean, that's who's going to be there in the late 20s that could really match the production of Micah Parsons. That trade happened months ago, but to your point, Bodie, it overshadows everything else that the Cowboys do.
It has to. It was so painfully bad in the first place that it's like, I know there is the idea of like, hey, sunk cost, man. Sometimes that stuff happens in sports where you miss on a pick, miss on a trade, but like everybody at the time knew like this is a stupid decision.
Right.
You should just pay Parsons. I didn't love that they gave up. I don't know that I've ever really seen this in the NFL before. Maybe it's happened. I just have missed it. But if I read the wording right, they gave up the better of the 2 picks for next year.
Yeah, they did.
To the Jets and that Quinton Williams trade.
Yeah.
So it's not just the Cowboys pick or just the Packers pick.
It's the better of the two. Right.
Obviously, you would have probably ideally rather given up the Green Bay pick because that's going to be lower. I don't think Dallas is going to suck though next year, especially if some of these if Williams is a good player or whatever, and the offense
but they'll be
pretty good.
They'll be worse than the Packers.
But they'll be worse than the Packers, and so will that be a top 5, 6 pick? Probably not.
No.
But it could be 14 versus 28. And that's a huge difference in the first round of the draft. But
I think the Jets have, 2 first-rounders this year, or in the upcoming draft, and 3 second-rounders, and then 2 first-rounders next year.
I think you're right on that, yeah.
Which is a great
because
haul.
of the fire sale that they have going on. They sent Sauce Gardner to the Colts as well.
If the process works. And that's what you're doing.
And to me, if you're the Jets, now you are, and I do not think there's anybody worth drafting in the first round of the this upcoming draft, quarterback-wise.
Right.
But at least next year, Julian Sayans, CJ Carr, whoever, Dante Moore, you put yourself in position to have the ammunition. They're going to be bad anyway.
Yeah.
But if they have the 4th pick and need to get up to number 2 or number 1, maybe, they have all the ammunition in the world now to go do that.
They do. And that's so it was a eventful trade deadline for the Jets, Cowboys, and Colts. Not so much elsewhere as far as big deals being made. But still, I like the fact there are now more trades being made at the deadline than they would have done 10 years ago. It never happened 10 years ago. There wasn't a big push. But
if there was even one trade 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was a huge deal.
How did this happen?
A meaningless player. It was never where they moved a huge name. And I'd say Sauce Gardner's a big name. And the fact he signed a $120 million extension last year, coming into this year. So
I was going to say just this offseason, wasn't it?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Coming next, folks, quick hitters, Morning Juice.
Delaware County Veterans Services, here for those who served. Located on the ground floor of the historic courthouse in downtown Delaware, our team of veteran county veteran service officers is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Need a ride to a VA appointment? Facing a financial emergency? Are you or your spouse simply looking for answers? Then give Delaware County Veterans Services a call. 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment. Delaware County Veterans Services.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them. Safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together. All of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund. Because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here, and I'm the Innovation Ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
If you're looking for the inside scoop on the Buckeyes, you've come to the right place. This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. We're going to do quick hitter in just a minute. I'll play the open for it, but I want everyone to understand this. The over-under, anytime you do quick hitters, which is run by Bodie completely independently on his own, the over-under on Notre Dame references is 1.5. We'll see if he goes over or under today. Here we go.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
Good morning, Bodie West.
Happy Wednesday. Almost said Tuesday. Happy Wednesday, fellas. Already Coaster Bob Day.
Yes, it is.
I would have thought. We'll start here, guys, with college football. The college football playoff. We're going to get pretty close to that over-under already.
Well, the thing about Marcus Freeman.
The college football playoff, ESPN and TNT announced on Tuesday what the opening round of this year's CFP schedule would look like. And if you remember last year's season, I got good news for you. You've already got this year's pretty much locked down. The first game of the opening round will take place on December 19th, a Friday night, for an 8 o'clock kickoff, just like last season, when Notre Dame beat Indiana 27-17 on Friday night in South Bend. Then the following day, on Saturday, December 20th, it'll be a triple header of games at noon, 3:30, and 7:30. Austin, I liked last year's schedule. Agree or disagree? And to me, it was kind of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I thought it worked out great, actually, last year. I feel unusual praising the selection committee to start Morning Juice and now talking about how they actually got something right with the television broadcast. And I thought the weekend was cool. Now, the games weren't phenomenal. They weren't that competitive. Although Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman put on a show on Friday night, it was the most competitive game of the weekend. People forget what the Irish did there and what Kurt Signetti did to make that game close in the fourth quarter. But I think it's great so that you can watch all of those games. Not me. I missed the afternoon game, although that wasn't a competitive affair because I was already in the horseshoe for the nightcap in Ohio State, just blitzing past Tennessee. But I think it's awesome. Are there Saturday NFL games this year, Bodie? I didn't look at that.
Yes, there are. So they're going head-to-head with the NFL again.
Yeah, still that competition. I don't like that part. I hadn't really even considered that at this point.
I totally agree. I really wish the NFL would just be like, hey, you guys, like, it's a partnership between the two here. Yeah. I get when they go on Christmas and say, to hell with the NBA. I totally understand why they do
problem
that,
there.
But with college football, so we got Green Bay is at Chicago. These times are to be determined. But on that Saturday, Green Bay is on the road against Chicago, and Philadelphia is at Washington.
Yeah, so they're even dialing it up with division games that people will want to watch. But that's fine. If it is for me and Ohio State locks up a bye, which I think that they're going to, and getting to watch all 4 of those games, I mean, I'll be watching college football in the playoff instead of the NFL game. So for me, it's great. I think that that's the right format and the right approach. Let's keep doing it. I guess the only other thing that you could consider doing is put one of those games on Thursday in prime time. I know they don't want to spread them out too much and give one team 2 extra days of preparation or whatever, but that's the only thing I could think I would even tweak about it as it is right now.
Could you do 1-1-2? Like
that's what I'm saying. Thursday night, Friday night,
Saturday,
and then 3:30 and 8 on Saturday. I think that's the only way I think that you could improve it.
Yeah, it's hard to screw it up. It really is with how compelling these games are, and I like the triple header on Saturday. I do, but yeah, a 1-1-2. I think I'd be more in favor of doing it that way. And where the NFL can say, the hell with you, NBA, we're going to do our thing. Well,
you could also then schedule around one of the NFL games on Saturday.
Yes, you could figure it out at that point, yes. But Look, this CFP has been great. Last year was awesome, and I'm expecting the same this year. But so I'm not complaining about a triple header on a Saturday for college football playoff. I'm really not going to.
With high stakes games and good teams,
at home sites. I'm not going to complain about that.
You know, this past January, there was a team that had a 2-day advantage.
Was there?
And that would be the Penn State Nittany Lions, Tito, and they still fell in the semifinal.
How'd that
at the
work
Orange
out for
Bowl,
them?
27-24 to your Fighting Irish.
Their wide receivers must have been tired.
There's your 2 references by Bodie. He tried to bait him.
You know what?
He didn't do it.
You said, let's hit it. I said, let's hit the over.
Yes, I know.
Life's too short to bet the under,
You're
Tito.
your highness of morning juice.
Live Golf, they might need to be, we'll say, undergoing a name change before next year. That's because the tour is moving from a 54-hole format to a 72-hole format beginning in 2026. The move is a part of an effort by Live Golf to begin receiving official World Golf ranking points for its events. The league had previously applied for the status with the OWGR system, but they were denied, with the ranking board citing their 54-hole format as inconsistent with the other tours it awards points to. In addition to the 72-hole format, Liv is addressing another concern of the OWGR, merit-based access to the tour. The league recently announced new pathways into the league via the International Series and Liv's promotion events. Beginning in January, each pathway offers 2 spots into Liv, up from 1 in prior years.
Yeah, that really fixes it.
Yeah. Roll off the tongue there.
Tito, LXXII does not quite roll off the tongue like Liv does.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that you go to 72. People have realized that. It will not still be, to me, as compelling as the PGA Tour. And I know I've got friends of mine who are like, oh, Liv, you got to watch it. I've put it on before.
You have diehard Liv fans that are your friends?
I've got a couple, Dave's brother, buddy of mine, is a diehard Liv fan. But you look at it and...
Who's his team?
I don't understand. That's the thing, see? You would think I'd be able to tell you that. Like I can tell you the Temple of Doom loves the Browns. I can tell you that. I can't tell you who Dave's brother loves in Live Tour, what teams are.
He's a big Crushers guy.
I can't. Okay, Crushers. Who's on the Crushers?
Bryson.
Okay, that makes
and
sense.
I don't know who else.
Exactly. So I think that Live, gimmicky, yes, but the closer they get to traditional PGA Tour type golf, get rid of the teams. Fine. I don't care if you wear shorts or play music. I don't care about that. Have a Coors Light on the course if you want to. I don't care. But I think that the closer they get to mimic what the PGA Tour does, then it becomes more about who are the golfers versus, going to Live Golf because it's 54 holes and there's shotgun starts and crap like that.
Yeah.
If you go closer, you go to PGA Tour rules and PGA Tour formats, I think you have a better chance of succeeding.
Well, their whole shtick was, we're going to make golf more exciting.
Right.
Golf, but louder.
Yeah.
And now they realize, that's not actually what golf fans want.
No.
And it has, I think it's been, I've seen a couple events. I mean, I certainly don't watch it all that often.
Right.
I still prefer the PGA Tour. I'm a traditionalist in that way, and I want to see the best golfers in the world. Now, they have signed some of them. I don't like that John Rahm is over there, for instance.
Neither.
I don't think he likes being over there and sacrificing some of the earnings of his career, at least in terms of the actual merit and trophies that people recognize. But if they've had to make this concession to get the world ranking points, and all they're doing is trending back towards putting on traditional tournaments, they don't have the depth of the PGA Tour, and it's not even close. And the other part is not just that the OWGR is saying it's got to be 72 holes instead of 54. It is the fact that none of their tournaments have cuts.
Yeah.
So there is no merit-based rankings to award once you get onto that tour, so I don't think that they fixed any of that. And also, I think it's damaging the product that they intended to create, and they just have to come together and put these leagues back the way that they belong.
Yep.
If they want to make more international events and partner with the PGA Tour for that and might find a way to do that, great. But you need John Rahm, you need Bryson DeChambeau back on the PGA Tour, and it's as simple as that for me.
With the first ranking of the college football playoff top 25 out, it is officially campaign season now in college football. One guy who is jumping to the front of that line to do so, that would be Steve Sarkisian down there in Austin, Texas, with the Longhorns, sitting at 7-2 on the season, and with games still to come against Georgia and Athens and Texas A&M at home. A couple of top 5 teams still on the schedule there for the Horns. Sark told the media in his weekly press conference this week, quote, "What the committee does with the teams in our conference, we'll see, but I know our conference conference is really deep and really good, probably deserving of more than 3 teams. I know that much. I think the SEC only got 3 teams in there last year, which is kind of laughable, quite frankly, but we'll see what happens this year. What happened to the SEC champs in the college football playoff last year, Tito? I think they lost to Notre Dame, if I'm not mistaken. The other 2 teams.
Oh, yeah, the Irish.
I believe Texas and Tennessee got bounced relatively quickly as well. Texas at least did win a game, but nevertheless, Sark continued. I know our conference is tough. It really is. It feels like a playoff game every week, even when you go on the road and barely beat Kentucky.
Or Mississippi State.
I added that, not him. But we'll continue, and I don't know if it feels that way in all the other conferences. This is some high-level football from teams that don't have great records, but, man, these teams are good. I don't know what's going to happen with the CFP, who gets in and who doesn't, but I just know in our league it's really, really hard. Austin, they might as well just put all,
just put them all
16
in there.
Teams in and then add maybe 4 or 5 more from the other conferences.
Yeah, gosh.
Why not?
If you're lucky, just add one of those teams from the conference that actually won the last 2 national championships on the field. It seems pretty significant to me. I get so sick of it. It happened already last night, and I understand why. I should be used to it by now, but Iowa pops up at 18, 19, and Greg McElroy's like, oh, this feels like a reach here. Like, what? They're 6-2. Yes, they lost to Iowa State. It's a little bit ugly, but he's got all sorts of reasons why Miami belongs here, or a 7th SEC team should be in the top 12, and is calling Iowa a reach. Like, well, buddy, just relax. They play
They're the only team to play Indiana and look like they belong in the same field so far this year.
Very nearly won that game. And maybe they're giving them credit for playing Indiana close.
That's
okay.
fine.
Aren't you doing that for every SEC team that loses a game? Oh, Steve Sarkisian's out here doing this already. We have to listen to this for the next month. We know there are good teams in the SEC. We know there's a very good chance that they're going to get 4 teams in the field. That's fine. Then go actually win some of these games and win a playoff format on the field when you match up against these leagues that you're supposedly better than, because that didn't happen last year.
It didn't, and look, Bodie said it great. It is campaign season for these guys. You're going to start seeing that for their conference, and yes, of course Sark thinks there should be 4 SEC teams. Why? Because he'd be the 4th. That's the reason. You look at it, that's why he's doing it, and it makes sense.
But not if they lose to A&M in Georgia.
No, they've got a tough road.
But if they win one of the 2, he's going to be pounding that table. That
and
9-3.
They played Ohio State to a 7-point game.
Yeah.
That's going to be a real tough one for them to pitch.
Yeah.
Is that Texas's best piece of their resume is only losing by 7 to a Big Ten team? Oh, no. Right. What will you do in the South?
As I look at the rankings here, here are the teams not ranked in the SEC. Starting from bottom to top in terms of conference record. Arkansas, 0-5. They're not ranked. South Carolina, Auburn. Got a fired coach there. Kentucky, Mississippi State. Florida, and LSU. 2 more coaches fired. Those are the only teams not ranked in the SEC right now. That seems pretty reasonable, right?
I think so, too.
And then teams just inside the rank. I think most people would agree. Maybe you could flip them a couple spots here and there. But A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, and then Texas and Oklahoma. That's kind of 3 through 12 there. They all deserve to be in there, right? Seems pretty fair.
Sure.
Vanderbilt's at 16. I think that's pretty fair. And then you got Tennessee and Missouri's 22 and Tennessee's 25. Okay, first off, Iowa being at 20 and Missouri at 22 and Tennessee 20. Who cares, man?
Right, I know.
Right now,
yeah.
We're talking about the difference of 2 and 5 spots. And then on top of that, Iowa, their next 2 games, home against Oregon, at number 19 USC. You got Missouri, who still has to play A&M and Oklahoma. Now, Tennessee's got a pretty light schedule here. The rest of it, first off, they've already lost 3 games, but they still have to. They host New Mexico State. And then they go to Florida
Lobos.
and home against Vanderbilt. Frankly, Tennessee's not making the college football playoffs, so who cares?
Out.
But if you're Iowa and you still got to play Oregon or Southern Cal, and then you're Missouri, who still has to play A&M and at Oklahoma, go win. Yeah. It's right there for you. And it blows my mind. And I like McElroy. I think him and McDonough, frankly, are my favorite 2 guys on a call in college football at this point in time, at least. But it's just so we're really getting worked up over 20 versus 22, and these 2 teams still have everything right there for them.
Sure.
You're telling me if Missouri doesn't win out or Iowa doesn't win out, those 2 teams are going to get in. I would almost guarantee they will.
Yes,
they will have deserved it. But right now, it's November 5th. We have the rankings where they are right now. Let this stuff play out.
Well, patience is not really the strong.
Yes,
No,
I know.
no,
we
we
gotta
gotta react.
Here's our mind.
React.
12 coaches already fired.
Yes. Speaking of react, we'll react to what Ryan Day said yesterday. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It all connects. The girl who walks for hours to bring home the family's water, the school she can't attend most days, her little brother's belly laugh, her dreams of being a teacher, an engineer, the mayor. It all connects. But at Child Fund, so do we, through everything we do, so every child can grow up healthy, educated, and safe. Because we need each other. Learn more at childfund.org.
My mom is a veteran and she was injured in the line of duty.
I hurt my leg in a training accident when she was only 2 years old.
She had 7 different surgeries over the span of 9 years, and there were tons of complications.
I couldn't be the mom my kids needed me to be.
She missed so much.
After my last surgery, I got an infection so bad I thought it was going to kill me.
I told her she couldn't leave me yet. There was still so much she had to see. I hadn't even graduated.
I'm doing much better now. I may have lost my leg, but I've gained so much. I'm an active part of my kids' lives.
She can kick a mean soccer ball.
DAV's been there for me and my family. Through thick and thin, they've had our back.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Sandy get the health and disability benefits they've earned so they can achieve victories great and small.
My victory is getting my life back. I got my joy back.
We got our mom back, thanks to DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
I always tell people I was the luckiest guy in the world. I wanted to be an Army man or a fireman, and I got to do both. As a firefighter, my job was about saving lives. I never thought one day I would be fighting for mine.
After spending his career answering the call to save others, Ken was diagnosed with ALS. Now he's facing his biggest battle, for more time. For 70 years, Muscular Dystrophy Association has been answering the call to help people live longer and more independent lives.
MDA means to me hope.
MDA is leading the way for people living with ALS, muscular dystrophy, and other neuromuscular diseases by accelerating research, advancing care, and advocating to empower families like Ken's.
I wouldn't be living as good of a life with ALS if it wasn't for MDA. MDA is helping people live stronger and love longer. Learn more at MDA.org today.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
All right, Morning Juice. We'll play some Ryan Day sound here in just a minute. But I had mentioned in the chat, Austin, that I wanted the help of our loyal juicers.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want is ideas. Because I got
You want answers?
Yeah, you deserve answers.
You want the truth?
Yeah, I can't handle the truth. Anyway, Scotty Vegas, who handles promotions for us and marketing and all these other different things, he wears a lot of hats. Anyway,
You should only wear one hat at a time.
You could, but he wants to get some new shirts for each show. And he said to get with your show and send 1 or 2 ideas to me by next Monday for a shirt. Just a 1 or 2 sentence description is all. I'll send them along. No long descriptions, please, and please get me the idea by next Monday. So I started brainstorming. I know Bobby didn't because Bobby wouldn't check his email. Bodie, did you start thinking of any ideas? Okay, no, that's fine.
Scale of 1 to 10, how much I did that, I'd say it was about a 2.
You gave your answer.
I read the email. I tried to think for a second.
Okay.
And I'm glad you were doing what you're doing now to reach.
Okay.
I mean, who better else to do this than the listeners of this
That's what I'm thinking.
program?
Like some of the ideas. And by the way, if you put an idea out there on the chat and we use something like that idea, I will buy you a shirt and send it to you. But like I had, you don't
think Scotty will give you one to give away?
Yeah, look, he probably will, but I don't get credit for saying
Use the $20 that you stole from Rothman in 1994.
Listen, I know. Oh God, I did pocket that, I'm sure. But like I had things like, I'm a juicer. Morning juice within the time.
Yeah.
Bobby would like that one. He's a big fan of the steroid era.
My favorite juice is morning juice. That kind of thing.
Easy.
Seems like it's a little bit too long.
I understand.
We had a fan poll once about that.
We did. I know. You're right. We did. That was the last time we had a good fan poll, by the way. But I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of ideas for it. Like get juiced, and then like have the show time on there, and like where to find it. I don't know.
Can't believe you haven't been able to combine your favorite band of all time in this show.
What, Squeeze?
Yeah, we'll Squeeze.
Squeeze the juice. I squeeze morning juice every morning. I squeeze a morning juice every weekday. Something like that. So anyway, if you have an idea for the shirt, put it in the chat. I see Jeff from his middle half says juice in my veins. That's a good one. Zoo Review says just a picture of OJ on the shirt and morning juice in the Halloween bleeding front. That's not bad. That's not bad.
If you can incorporate
Some morning OJ.
OJ Simpson or Charlie Sheen, any one of our favorite characters.
Could we do a shirt that has like what's your favorite juice and like 3 options on the back, like a check mark on ours, but also have OJ Simpson and also have gin and juice?
What
like
about
gin and
Juice
juice.
Newton?
Okay.
She was on the fan poll that day as well.
He is saying like
she got some votes.
1 or 2 sentences. Like, and I don't know what I've been racking my brain. Stop. Racking my brain thinking about this on how to do this. But OJ gave people hope. There's one from Little Italy. Thank you, Little Italy. I don't know if we could use that one. But any ideas you have,
my favorite.
Send them on. And by the way, you can also send it to me on Twitter at That Happens. There we go, right, Bodie?
Hang out with Tito.
You may as well. We can chat privately. Anyway, so if you have an idea for the shirt, I got to get it into Scotty by Monday. And I know Bobby will have nothing because Bobby didn't. I thought about having an NBA Jam shirt.
He might have some sarcastic answers for us tomorrow when he gets back.
Yes.
But I don't know if he'll have any real concrete ones.
I don't know either. So anyway, put that out there. So I need your creative minds, juicers. Send it to me on Twitter, whatever. Rise and Juice, that's a good one. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that one. That's good. So we have to have one idea, though, and they're trying to get it set up so that way for the holidays, if you want to buy one, you can. And that's what the whole idea is behind this. We have new shirts for every show. My juice is fresh. David Dwyer, good one there. Juice is loose, okay? Here we go. Hop on the right foot and do the wrong thing. That's a good one there.
We might have to let you highness
That may have to work on that one.
That's pretty strong. We'd have to get some royalties, though, heading your highness's way.
I think he's willing to collaborate.
Yeah. Can we get that can be the front and on the back. It can just be the Afro Man because I'm high 3 different times.
I don't think Jeremiah's idea would work. I'm not going to say what it is, but you can look at it both. I don't think I don't think we'd use that one.
There was also once a fan poll along those lines, and some people got very upset about that. It was just a joke.
Ryan Day talked. Yes, Ryan Day, attack and dominate. That's a good one. Okay. Ryan Day spoke yesterday, and he was talking about how he has to keep prepping the way they have to keep up with things. Here we go.
Yeah, and that's it. We were right back up. We just got off the field on a Tuesday practice, and that was it. In order for it to work on Saturday, you got to put the work in during the week and mastering the process. And Tuesday's really, really important. Get back to fundamentals, get back to running the ball, stopping the run, getting our pads down, getting our hands on people, and then we did a bunch of that today.
So when we'll talk CFP in a little bit here, but like when we talk about why Ohio State's ranked where they are, and I still contend Ohio State's biggest competition this year is last year's Ohio State team.
In what way? Because I think they've moved on from that. And I don't think that anyone is holding them necessarily to an evaluation of that. They lost so many pieces. We were talking about this yesterday, Tito, that everyone thought that the reload would be difficult. And, Caden Curry and Kenyatta Jackson were going to be measured against Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau or Arvell Reese to Cody Simon or Jermaine Matthews to Denzel Burke. And like all that stuff I think is already in the rearview mirror for Ohio State and has been for quite some time. So, nationally, I don't think people are holding them to that expectation. Their season has gone very differently. And, I know that the standard is the standard, and Bob would say that in this seat every single day, that's the way that they approach their business in the Woody. From that perspective, they are being judged against that when they get to the college football playoff. That will be, can you do what that team did in 2024? Can you have mastered your craft? Can you approach every game the same way? But right now, when they had that, ceremony, when they had the championship celebration and they had their final champions meeting in the team room, and they removed all the seniors and had everyone move down one row closer and take on that new leadership role. It was ceremonial, but it was also meaningful for a guy like Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles. Like, you would have to go be the leader for this team. And that applied to Caden McDonald, and that applied to Austin Sarabeld and on down the line. And I think that's been the most impressive part about this team, is that there has been no complacency, no sense of, that the job is complete, that they've accomplished anything by winning 8 games, because a lot of these guys now, that even if they weren't the starters a year ago, are aware of how much football is left in front of Ohio State, and that you can't finish the job in the middle of November, or you can even lose along the way, and this team hasn't done that. They've not taken anything for granted at this point. But, in terms of putting all of that behind them, I think Ohio State's done an amazing job. And then the 2024 factor is like done and dusted for them.
When I look at this team, Austin, this is where I struggle, and I can't believe, I can't imagine what it's like to be on the CFP, but I am so entrenched with this team and this community, this area here. And I can't tell if it's the same in other major college towns. Like the way that we embrace, the way we talk about Ohio State and their culture and everything and all that goes on there. And is there any school, I don't know if there's another school out there that has the same strong kind of culture Ohio State has. And part of that's because I'm right here. I talk to people. We obviously hear Ryan Day talk every week, and we know what their success has been. But how is Ohio State, is Columbus different than Austin? Is it different than, South Bend? There we go, Brody. I got that one for you. Is it different than what goes on at Oregon or what goes on in Indiana? And I don't know how much you know about that from you go to those towns, I know, to watch football games, but I don't know how much you.
I mean, a couple that you mentioned and a couple that come to mind is the only even ballpark comparisons. I think Austin and Columbus are virtually identical cities and campuses and expectations for their team and support. Texas and Ohio State, and we talked about this going into the opener. We talked about it before the Cotton Bowl. They are the two highest revenue-producing athletic departments in the country. They have the largest fan bases, and they exist in cities that are bigger than people realize around the country, and that's all of their attention is going. Yes, they're the Columbus Crew and the Austin soccer team that we don't talk about exist, but they're not going to siphon off the attention from Ohio State and Texas football. They are the only two that I think exist in a realm with this level of support and then scrutiny and passion, depending on what day of the week it is and what the last performance was like. I'd lived in Knoxville for 5 years and covered that program, and it's similar, the passion. There's not a pro team in Knoxville. Neyland Stadium holds 100,000. There's a lot of things that you can point to that would be, in the conversation, but there is an element of realism that Tennessee is not the same program and that is not funded at the level in any way that Ohio State is. So, I've been around to Tuscaloosa. I've been in Athens, and it's not the same. Once you start dipping down to this is a college town and a college town only, I think maybe it's an oversimplification. The fact that Ohio State exists as and is run like a pro team in a pro-sized market is what I think makes it great, what helps elevate it against everybody else in its peer bracket. So I don't know if that's too much of bias that we actually live here and live and breathe that every single day. But I've been around other places in college football, sometimes just temporarily, sometimes for extended periods of years. And, the live and breathe day in, day out thing that applies in the Woody that also applies in Columbus doesn't really exist everywhere. People claim that
Right.
and the SEC says that it matters more to them, I can promise you they don't spend as many seconds, hours, days. They don't have multiple shows all day long just talking about Ohio State football the way that it just doesn't exist everywhere else.
I feel like so you've got your diehard group of Ohio State fans. You got people that literally, I'll say literally is not the right way to do it, but they do live and die with Ohio State football. Ohio State football results impact their feelings the rest of the weekend, right? Okay. And I think that happens everywhere. I think it happens in South Bend. I think it happens in Tuscaloosa. I think it happens in Austin. I think it happens in Knoxville. All those things, it does happen. But I just think there's a greater number here. You know
I
what
agree,
mean?
yeah.
Like there's still, if you say Ohio State's got, 1,000 fans that live and die by Ohio State football, I think there's probably half that many in other markets. I know me personally, look, as soon as Ohio State ends their game against Rutgers, it'll be Michigan week for me. Yeah. And I'll go back and watch the documentary I watched about the Michigan versus Ohio State thing on HBO years ago. I can't remember what it's called now. But I every year I watch that, though, as like a tradition thing. And my entire week leading up to it is talking about Michigan and watching it and living it and breathing it and then living or dying by it on the weekend. So I just think there's more.
Well, good for you for not fast forwarding to that right now. And
no,
skipping past Purdue and UCLA and
UCLA,
Rutgers.
One game, one life, Tito.
No, listen to me. If you think there's any chance, I'm not going to do this right now. 10-Year War, Jeff Furman's Middle Half. It's not that one. It's a different one, though. But 10-Year War is also great, Jeff Furman's Middle Half. You're right. But I just think it's a greater number. I think there are people as passionate about their teams as Columbus fans are, as Ohio State fans are. There are people that are as passionate about it as we have here. There's just more here.
I think that's what's made it. We're talking about challenge and opportunities, right, Bodie?
Yes, we are.
That you look at this program and why we react to games where they don't run the ball perfectly,
right,
or that they have special teams breakdowns.
Yeah,
they win it. The other part of this is that Ohio State wins at the highest clip of any program in the country. So all that we really have to deal with, to converse with the rest of the people, like you say, live and breathe and die. I mean, I talk about Ohio State football 365 days a year.
Sure, 366 some years.
Some years I'll ramp it up, and a leap year is a bonus day for me to talk about the Buckeyes. And what? Am I supposed to just talk every single day about how amazing Julian Saint is? I'll do that. Am I going to, rant and rave about the latest Carnell Tate or Jeremiah Smith catch? Yeah, I'm going to do some of that too. But we are going to focus and maybe hyper-focus on the things that can still be improved. Like, that's why we nitpick. And that's Ohio State has made it to that level where the passion of the fan base combined with the success means that there's a very narrow list of things that you could actually get worked up about. And that's unfortunate. That's the reality. That's the what Jim Tressel and then Urban Meyer and what Ryan Day have created, which is this monster that we've got to feed somehow.
When you are winning at Ohio State, and Ryan Day obviously had the national championship win last year, but lost to Michigan. But when you win at Ohio State, it's obviously a much easier job. Okay. How long do you think Ryan Day will be the head coach at Ohio State?
It's hard for me to put an exact number of years on it, Tito. And I'm not trying to avoid the question. I don't think it is. It's not a double digit. It's not a decade more.
Okay.
And I don't think it's people ask all the time if that means that he wants to test himself at the NFL. I don't think Ryan Day wants to go to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that the NFL I think it's past that craze of wanting to get college football coaches to run their organizations.
I think they've learned.
Yeah, so I don't think it's a fit for anybody.
Right.
And Ryan Day has been in the NFL.
Sure.
He knows what that lifestyle is like, and the pressure there, and how quickly those staffs can get turned over is. The college football world is catching up to that, but it has never been like that with the NFL. I think that's one of the things that he found most appealing about coming to Ohio State and finding a place to put down roots and let his family grow up in one place. Now, he had to win to do that, and he has, and that's one of the opportunities that you get. But I think the way that this is trending and the taxing nature of the job, plus I've always felt like 7 or 8 years is about what you need before a fresh start helps people out. And he's got to that point now where everything is in place. He has adapted and he has not allowed some of the complacency and the staleness to creep into his program, which is one of the most highest compliments that I can give to a coach, because I've seen that happen over and over. Like Dabo Swinney is the prime example of that right now with Clemson. But if he's able to win another national title this year or in the next couple years, and you then you start looking at how much more school is there for the kids.
Right.
RJ's close to the end there, but he's got the daughters. I think that may be the factor. Like, if they get out of the house, maybe that's when Ryan and Nina are like, we're good here. So I can see that. Let's say 5, because that's splitting the decade, and the fact that he's got a lot of pieces in place to get this going, and that's about where the end of the high school, I believe, tenure would be for the daughters. But it's not because he wants another challenge. I think he'll be content to ride off into the sunset at that point.
So if he goes 5 more years, that gives him what, 14 or 15?
This is year 7.
Okay, so it'd be 12 then.
Yeah.
And I'm curious then, I'm looking right now what the longest tenures are in Ohio State coaching history. Let's see here. So Cooper's here 88 to 2000. Woody, obviously his thing. So he might end up being the second longest. John Wells said 13 to 28, but he could be one of the longest tenured head coaches all time at Ohio State. God, why do you think it was his 9th year? I don't know. Anyway, but
he had he arrived in 17.
That's right. Okay,
So
that's what I was thinking of. Okay.
Had the quarterbacks and offensive coordinator roles for 2 years, the interim role briefly there in 18 for those first few games when Urban was on the shelf. But yeah, so he's been here that long. This is his 7th year as the head coach.
And the new book by Bill Rabinowitz, Buckeye Brotherhood, by the way, is out now. And there's some very interesting details in there about talking about what happened after the Michigan loss last year. And I would not have blamed Ryan Day for walking away at that point based on what his family was going through. And the fact he endured that and the team did what it did says a lot about him. I hope he's here 10 years. I'm with you. I think it's unrealistic to expect that. But it's I worry about what happens when he leaves, because you've got to have a great guy come in. Hopefully it's like a Hartline or Laurinaitis type, something like that.
I think that there are 3 clear-cut options right now.
All right.
One of them coaches in South Bend, Indiana.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare say
go.
that. Take that back.
The other is the linebackers coach that you mentioned, and the other is the offensive coordinator.
Right.
Now, does it have to be a situation where you are an alum and you come home to Ohio State? No. But these guys understand what it takes, what's required of the position, and I think that goes a very long way. Well, Tito, you grew up with this. What was the biggest criticism of Coop?
Oh, yeah. Michigan is 1 in 1A, and then 2 is like bowl games.
And people still say this, and he's been in this community a long time since, but when he got here, he's like, he doesn't understand. He's not a Buckeye. This is not that important to him. And people levied that criticism against Ryan Day as well for a very long time.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't do that to Tress, and you couldn't do that to Urban. Like they could talk to you about the 10-year war as much as they could talk about their own family. That was how much it was ingrained in their lifestyle. And I think it's incredible the way that Ryan Day has absorbed that, and especially given some of the difficulties and the adversity that he's faced along the way. But it is an advantage to have grown up in it, to have understood the pressures of it, being at Ohio State, and all the things that you mentioned to start the segment, Tito, about the size and scope of this fan base and how unique it is. It applies to whether you're the SID, whether you are working as a janitor in the Woody. Ohio State, once you actually get into the athletic department, and Ross Bjork, it's a good thing he had some of that, training wheels time with Gene Smith, because it's a different animal than anywhere else. The size, the power, the number of personnel, the level of support is unlike anywhere else. And if you don't have any sort of built-in knowledge of how it works, you're just going to be absolutely lost.
Yeah.
And I think that's what sets those 3 apart. And the guy in South Bend also now will have the benefit of some experience.
Think about that.
And
he
would crawl
Bring him
over
home.
broken glass to get
scratch me right where I itch. Bodie hates it, and so does
It's just
Patrick.
He's just
so
stewing
does
over there.
Steve Kerr. I know. They all hate it. Coming up next, somebody does have a right to be pissed off about the CFP rankings. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
Hey, you know that chronic pain in your knees, hip, back, shoulders, whatever joint it might be, it can make life feel impossible. But at QC Kinetics, there's a breakthrough treatment that's giving patients relief, some cases even within 1 day. It's called stem wave therapy. This device has been used for over 20 years in Europe, and it's made its way to the United States. And there's a groundswell of demand for the treatments because the patients are getting real relief from acute pain, and they're spreading the word. Here is the most interesting detail. The device is both a diagnostic and therapeutic, helping Dr. Ray Tesner and the medical team at QC Kinetics find the problem and then trigger your body's own natural healing response. StemWave uses the same technology as lithotripsy, the sound waves that penetrate, spark blood flow, and more cellular activity. That's exactly what you need to promote healing and relief. Wondering if this is a good solution for you or your pain? QC Kinetics is making it easy. Your first treatment is only $49. So call for a consultation and ask about the $49 treatment right here at 380-208-4544. Bobby Carpenter here with the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. The thing I like about sports is that it prepares you for life, especially team sports. Surrounding yourself with the right people, letting them do their job makes you better. Riverside Bank doesn't have a ton of people, but their people have a ton of experience and know how to get the job done. They're all about quality over quantity. Here's Chuck Moore, CEO, and Travis Sanders, president of Riverside Bank of Dublin, on how they win with people.
A team's success can be directly tied to the quality of its players, coaches, and leadership. In sports and in business, talent alone doesn't win. It's why we focus on building strong relationships with our clients and why we strive to always offer the best advice, the best products, and the best customer service for our clients.
Thanks, Travis. We want them to focus on their business and their people and let us handle their banking needs.
Tune in every day for the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Visit their office at 6300 France Road in Dublin or even online at riverside.bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Wildlife around the globe needs help. And when you help protect them, you become a friend of the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again.
Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
Thank you for helping protect wildlife around the globe. Without you, there's no them. Learn more at sdzwa.org/friend.
Every child deserves a safe, loving, and permanent home. Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find families for children who've lingered in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Since 2003, Wounded Warrior Project has helped post 9/11 veterans adjust back to civilian life. Through specialized programs, they begin healing their bodies and minds while regaining a sense of camaraderie. Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/possible.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
No Bobby. Tito, though. Austin Ward admirably filling in for the second straight day.
It's 7:20 on a Wednesday.
I look, Austin forced me to work a little more than I wanted to.
This is a guy who considers himself the mayor of Laramie, Wyoming, who holds the shuffleboard record at the Ranger, and most impressive, the commissioner of the Central Ohio two-man scramble league. Here's Austin Ward.
He's Austin Ward, one half of the podcast, The Beat with Austin and Berm. Joining us now here.
You can find us
video.
on 97.1 The Fans YouTube channel, 10 TV, 10 TV Plus.
There we go.
Apple, Spotify, Roku, anywhere you get podcasts. There's an episode out right now, Tito.
There is?
It's Wednesday, so it's a stock watch.
Is it a good one?
I mean,
No,
I'm on it.
Okay, I'm asking you. Do
So
you
that's-
think it's one of your better podcasts?
We tried really hard.
That's not answering the question there. I don't. Okay, that's fine.
I don't
have to answer that question.
I want.
Yeah, you do.
I want the people to decide.
All right.
It's not for me.
That's fine. CFP rankings came out.
We didn't talk about that on the show. I promise you.
Of course you did. I hope you wouldn't. But anyway.
Especially because you have Ryan Day's response to that yesterday. I know that everyone has to ask, like, are you going to pay attention to it? Are you going to watch it? Are you going to talk to your team?
No.
But he has said it the same thing every single year. You could just copy and paste it. Nope, I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to be coming off the practice field. Doesn't matter. And we have to win the next 4 games for any of this to matter anyway.
Do you believe he doesn't watch it?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think that he could care any less about it.
Okay. So,
but he probably sees it at some point, right?
Somebody tells him.
I think Quinn probably knocks on the door at like 8:10. Ryan's in the office, and he says, yeah, you're number one. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
That's kind of what I thought.
It's on to West Lafayette. Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, top three. We knew they'd be the top three in some order.
Yeah.
The debate last night was interesting where Joey Galloway, was pining for A&M to be number one based on different metrics. And by the way, if you ever want to understand how this all works and why it's confusing, go back to my conversation last night with my 9-year-old son about metrics and analytics. Dad, what are metrics? Like, well, what are analytics? Are they different? I said, well, they're kind of the same thing. Well, what do they use? Well, they kind of go, it's really hard to explain.
We talk sports on this show. We are not mathematicians.
It is easier to explain how Santa gets to every house in one night.
Magic.
Than it is to explain how they compile these rankings and what metrics they're using.
Maybe there's some similarities there.
But you could make an argument for A&M Indiana to be number one.
I would have been fine with that. I wouldn't have been worked up about it at all.
It's all going to work itself out.
100%.
Okay. The one team
that's math.
Russ, who I think maybe has the biggest gripe might be BYU.
Okay.
Only because
they also have their fate in their hands this week.
They do. You're right. Look, all these teams, all this stuff, we'll get worked up about it. We'll talk about it. We won't get worked up. We're not going to be like taking off our shirts in a sweaty lather.
Ooh.
That's on the OnlyFans page.
There's a shirt idea.
That's an idea right there, yes. Maybe a shirt idea is just no shirt. But
$20.
Yes, $20, no shirt. God, we could make a lot of money on that, couldn't we? That's that Monday show meeting idea there, Bodie. But like, because you look at if A&M runs the table, including winning the SEC championship, they're probably more worthy than Ohio State to be number one.
It's distinctly possible. Although the committee has now set down this gauntlet that the number one team and the number two team are both in the Big Ten, and they're going to play each other in a month's time. If form holds, then that would be the winner of the Big Ten championship game would have the season's most impressive win over either number one or number two on a neutral site field right as they're determining the playoff field.
I look at Ohio State really needs Indiana to not stumble. I don't think they will, but I'm saying Ohio State, and that's what kind of sucks about this, that Ohio State, the best thing for them is to win out and have Indiana still be number two when they play each other.
Feels like this week is really the only opportunity for that for Indiana. You look at the schedule down the stretch, and we said this coming out of Saturday. Penn State is a talented team, and they couldn't get it done. They had a good game plan. I thought they fought. They were clearly outclassed by Ohio State, and the quarterback issue is real for them. But they are at home. This would be the last opportunity to put any kind of signature win on their resume. I think Penn State will be motivated for this. Now, are they beaten down physically and you have the hangover of playing the Buckeyes and you can't get back up to play Indiana? Maybe that will be the scenario and Indiana will just cruise to the finish line. But I agree with you. I think Ohio State would want to see Indiana remain in that elevated perch and then set up that meaningful game where in Indianapolis that you're not likely to fall out of the top four based on the way the committee handled postseason games a year ago. And then you just go out there and let the chips fall where they may. But I think that's what people would want to see, number one versus number two there.
Yeah, I think so too. But if A&M, because A&M's going to have Texas coming up, it is great talk, but it is no different than us talking about the rankings in August before the first week, before week 0 or whatever you're going to call it now, of college football. It's like the same kind of thing. You say, how did this team get it? All plays itself out. It will if Ohio State and Indiana are 1 versus 2 and playing for the Big Ten championship undefeated, the winner of that game will be the number 1 overall seed.
The reason that I came away, nonplussed, and that we didn't have to rant and rave about the selection committee's choices for the first batch is they didn't. Sometimes there have been years where it feels like they're manufacturing the debate, or they're 1 week they're going to cherry pick this metric and this analytic, and then the next week they completely disregard it.
Sure.
I don't feel like there were any examples of that last night. The only head-to-head differential between similar records and the team that won is behind was Miami and Notre Dame. And I don't know that anybody could realistically make a case to be upset about that based on the way that the season is going and the opposite directions that those programs are going since they played at the start of the year. So I think that that's the most complimentary I can be for them, is that they just did the thing that they were supposed to do last night, and they didn't try and send any other message.
So if you look at the way it's set up, 11 and 12, Texas and Oklahoma. Right now, one of them would be on the outside looking in because Virginia's back behind them, but they could be ACC champ, and also Memphis, who's the highest-rated Group of 5 team. But, like, Texas plays at Georgia November 15th, and they host A&M on the day after Thanksgiving. If Texas wins all 3 of those games, they will be in. If they win 2 of those 3, if they lose to either Georgia or A&M, do you still think they're likely to get? If they're a 3-loss team, with their 3 losses being Ohio State, at Florida, bad one, no doubt about it, and say it's at Georgia.
Yeah, I think they'll be in.
I think they'll be in. I think they'll be a 3-loss team in. I don't think there's a chance a 3-loss Big Ten team gets in.
It's tougher to imagine that right now, and especially because of the crossover for the USC's got to play Iowa. You've got the back and forth there with Michigan. Would have to play itself out at some point based on who it plays. If it doesn't,
say Michigan loses to Ohio State, that's 3 losses. They're not in.
They're out. Yeah, it's harder to make that case, and especially because Oregon, I think, can lose one of those games and remain in the top 11 to stay in. But the path is relatively narrow. It exists there. I think the Big Ten will get 3. But what we're talking about essentially is going to come down for a 4th SEC team or Big Ten team, and Texas is the one that can make that. Can win that argument based on the schedule that it has in front of it. And you could hear some of that politicking, not just from Steve Sarkisian in Austin, but also on the ESPN show last night, that they were setting this up. You got to look at Texas. You have to consider their schedule. I don't think anyone would be that worked up if 9-3 Texas gets in. Everyone thought they were one of the most talented teams in the country going into the year. They lost an opener to Ohio State. They challenged themselves outside the conference, which is what we ask everyone to do.
Right.
Don't play the meaningless games. Don't just play directional states. Don't play FCS opponents. So Texas did that. I wouldn't be mad about 9-3 Texas getting in at all.
Bodie, Steve Kerr's trying.
Never a lack of effort from him, that's for sure.
He said worst fans are OSU, Michigan. That's fine. And then he also said Columbus isn't an elite city. So you can do with that what you will. Do you think Washington controls their own destiny?
They went out, Washington will be in.
I think they will too. I was looking at Washington, the fact their 2 losses are Ohio State and Michigan, and they could have a win home against Oregon. I mean, the next 3 games are at Wisconsin, host Purdue, at UCLA. Should be wins. That game against Oregon, I think, is the one that will.
Oh, yeah.
I think that Washington, if they have 2 losses, but they did beat Oregon, I think they're in.
I think that is probably shaping up to be a playoff play-in game. I think the loser could find themselves on the wrong side of the bubble.
Right.
And Washington's got the benefit as well where they played a competitive game against Ohio State.
They did.
People that watched it understand that, what you're up against with the Silver Bullets is no walk in the park, obviously. But the Illinois win and the way that they handled that, I think, is significant. Illini didn't show up in these rankings, but that is a win that I think, on the metrics will move the needle for the selection committee. It will help them down the road. But if you beat Oregon and you handle the rest of your business, I think they're in. I think they're deserving to be in. I was really impressed by them. The defense was better than I thought it was going to be when we were out there in Seattle now, almost 2 months ago at this point. And then you have that offensive firepower and the triplets that we've talked about there. They're a good football team. And that Oregon game is going to be critical. It's got to be one of the 5 most important games left for determining the college football playoff field.
So if we believe Washington controls their own destiny.
That feels a little strong, though, doesn't it?
I don't know.
To just say if they win out, they are definitely in.
A 2-loss Washington.
I don't know how you're going to keep a 10-2 Washington out.
I just don't know if you can say they control their own destiny. To me, when control your own destiny is like if you win your games, you are in, period.
No,
and
you're right.
Like that's because you still that would almost they could get into the them versus 9-3 Texas, or
right.
maybe 9-3 or 10-2 Oklahoma. Like, once you lose 2 games, it's tough to control your own destiny at that point, I think.
No, you're right. It's not like a clear.
They will be right in the thick of it, and they'll have as good of an argument as anybody. But I just think control your own destiny is a little strong.
Okay, let's say Washington does win out. 2-loss Big Ten team. Last win is against Oregon. Does USC then also control their own destiny? Because they host Northwestern, they host Iowa, they're at Oregon, host UCLA. They come up with being a 10-2 team, 8-1 in the Big Ten, with the win at Oregon.
Based on the standard that you and I have set for this, and not Bodie's more accurate version of controlling.
Look, I'm not being reasonable, Bodie. This is too early in the morning to be reasonable.
I have an easier time personally, Tito, seeing Washington finish 10-2 than USC running the table here.
Okay,
and that's a little bit of just lingering doubt about Lincoln Riley and the Trojans, and also a reflection that schedule is more difficult.
Lincoln Riley's 2 losses this year will be at Notre Dame, at Illinois.
Yeah, and run down those 4 because they have multiple ranked games left.
Yeah, they get the Iowa and Oregon ones are the big ones. They host Iowa, they play at Oregon, and sandwiched around that is a night game, home against Northwestern on Fox, and then that's a
Friday night game this week. Yeah.
Look out. And then host
Wildcats.
UCLA, yes. But
now that to me is a bit more scale 1 to 10, control your own destiny.
You think so?
I think they're closer to a 10 than Washington is at that point.
USC's,
their 2 losses would be,
and the wins would be more significant.
A little bit better. Wins would definitely be
they
better.
They beat Michigan.
Yeah.
They would beat Iowa, beat Oregon. So, but and if Oregon loses, if both teams win out, Washington and USC, that Oregon's out. And now all of a sudden you might be looking though, the 4th Big Ten team. You're debating is it USC or Washington versus another conference. But I know college basketball's regular season is meaningless because of the way the tournament is now. And I'm confident college football has not done that yet. Based on what we're talking about.
I think that they're in the sweet spot for maintaining the interest and also having, I still think the size of the playoff field is too large, but 12 is fine. Last year was great. The format, the games, once you got past the first round, were wildly entertaining and competitive down the stretch, most of them. So, but I know right where you're going. If you expand this to 16, if we're having, because you look at these rankings and it's like, okay, well, it's much easier than for someone in the 20 range. If they win out, like, could Tennessee now at 9-3 be the 16th seed? Yeah. Does anybody need to see Tennessee there? No. And so right now, we're in the sweet spot for expanding interest in the regular season while expanding the college football playoff field from what we were used to for every other year before last year. I hope that they can look at this rationally and realistically, and I know that they won't.
Yeah.
It's wishful thinking on my part, but because they're going to look at the dollar amount and they're going to think, well, this worked to get to 12 and that brought in way more schools and way more interest. Yeah, but if Ohio State has clinched a playoff spot in the first week of October, you're sacrificing one of the best draws in college football. So I think right now we've got it great. I'd hate to see them mess with it even more, but I know they will.
Buckeye Pilot 6-7 asks about Iowa. Okay, we'll do this with the Iowa team then too. They're right now 6-2 overall, 4-1 the Big Ten. Their remaining schedule: host Oregon, at USC, host Michigan State, at Nebraska. Their losses are to ranked Indiana and Iowa State at the time ranked also. But if Iowa wins out, do you like their chances?
I think they'll be in too, and I think. But this is the reminder that we've said since the start of Morning Juice today, Tito, is that there's 4 weeks of the regular season left, and all these teams that we're talking about winning out, they can't all win out.
Right.
Like they play.
I know they can't. You're right. I know. But
So
I'm saying,
I agree, but I think that's the relevant point. We're not talking about a world where, all right, well, Iowa's going to win out, Wisconsin's going to win out, USC's going to win out, Oregon's going to win out, and suddenly the Big Ten has 6 teams in the college football playoff. That cannot happen because there are enough games left against each other that the controlling your own destiny piece, someone is going to lose one of these games.
Yeah.
You don't just get to skip them.
Do you think a 4th team from the Big Ten ultimately gets in?
Probably not.
I don't think so
either.
I think Texas
I think
is
it's
the one.
Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon.
I think they beat each other up. I think these other teams we talked about destinies and stuff. I think that there's enough of them that lose games to each other.
I would bet on Oregon winning their
I would think so,
ranked
yes.
matchups.
I think so, yeah.
And kind of then it goes hand in hand.
Then what
I
else?
would
Yeah, I
bet
think
on
it was
like
3 losses,
the
yeah.
USC's, Iowa's, Washington dropping a game in there.
The winner, do this. The 10th caller at the break. Not 10th. I'm sorry, Bodie.
Let's go number 2.
Second caller. 614-821-1460 gets 2 tickets to go see OAR with Gavin DeGraw and KT Tunstall at Kemba Live Outdoors.
It's coming up.
September 10th, 2026, right around the corner. Tickets on sale Friday, November 7th at 10 a.m. I would not call in because I don't know if I'll be alive on September 10th, 2026, because the tickets will come September 9th probably.
Anybody.
No, but most, honestly.
We're all day to day.
I know, we're all day to day. 614-821-1460. September 10th, 2026 is the date. OAR, Gavin DeGraw, and KT Tunstall. We'll tell you, Kemba Live Outdoors. We will tell you what's got us juice next. Morning Juice.
In honor of all those we've lost to cancer and those still fighting and thriving, like basketball analyst and cancer champion Dick Vitale.
I want to beat cancer. I'm going to beat it. That's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to win this battle.
Defeating cancer will take all of us. Join our team to help fund game-changing research that saves lives. At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over the odds. V is for victory over health disparities, victory over setbacks, victory over the unknown. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate to the V Foundation to join our team and help save lives.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul.
100% of donations fund game-changing cancer research. Donate now to the V Foundation at v.org.
Hi, this is Martina McBride. With online news, social media, and texting available 24/7, the world seems to be spinning faster and faster every day. And it can be overwhelming. Sometimes we just need to unplug and take a break from our electronic devices. It can help reduce stress and allow us to reflect on the things that are really important in our lives.
This message brought to you courtesy of the United States Air Force.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
When it comes to prostate cancer, go to pcf.org for the help you need to navigate this disease and make the right decisions for yourself. Go to pcf.org today.
Lexi spent more than 6 years in foster care.
Before I was adopted, I felt alone.
With help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, Lexi now has a forever family and the foundation for a bright future.
Adoption changed me for the better. I feel like I can be whoever I want to be.
You can help find permanent homes for children still lingering in foster care. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Day 1, the hardest day. The day you hear,
This is a type of blood cancer.
at the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1. To learn more and get help on any day, visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572.
Bobby's knees hurt from doing battle with some of football's toughest warriors. Tito's knees hurt from begging Bobby to let him host this show.
Oh, pick me! Oh, I know, me!
This is Morning Juice.
A couple of things before we get into what's got us juice. Keith said, more importantly, I'm still mad at Tito for saying Rush was overrated yesterday. That's fine. We can argue about that one. Tom Cicchetti, an old friend of mine, and Yuji Kotaka both contend Rush is the greatest band ever. I say Triumph's a better Canadian band, but whatever. We're not going to do that today. We don't have time. Squeeze is not a Canadian band, but Squeeze is better than all of them. Also, Zoo of You said he would pay $20 to have me keep my shirt on. I sent him my Venmo. He laughed about that, so I guess that's really not something he's going to do. I could use the $20, but it's okay. Zoo of Yous, don't do it.
Take it from Rothman.
Yes, I'll do that, right. So anyway, I appreciate all the ideas people put out there for the shirt. I've I've saved them all into a document here on my end, and we'll see what we come up with. And like I said, if we do some kind of facsimile of what you sent in, I will personally buy you a T-shirt. And by that, what I mean is I will tell Scotty Vegas I need a freebie to send to you, but I will get credit for it because that's always key, is you get credit for stuff you don't really have to do. I think that's the key in life. Okay, let's do what's got you juiced.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Bodie, before we get into what's got Austin juiced, who won our tickets?
That was Caleb.
Caleb Carpenter?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, if we're all still here.
Yeah, right, exactly. I'm not sure if the people we talked about involved with this whole transactional process. We'll see if we're all still here. Winner receives 2 tickets, see OAR with Gavin DeGraw and KT Tunstall at Kemba Live Outdoors, September 10th, 2026. Tickets are on sale Friday. That's in 2 days at 10 a.m. Congrats to Caleb on that one. Thanks all the juicers, like I said, for the ideas. We appreciate that. Today is Wednesday. Coaster Bob time has already passed about 50 minutes ago. Austin, what has you juiced?
Well, we're halfway to Ohio State at Purdue, and I leave in 2 days.
West Lafayette,
to get
here
over
you
to
come.
West Lafayette. I just could not be more excited.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if the sun will actually emerge
under
for the first time that I've ever seen at Ross-Ade Stadium. I don't have the fondest memories of visiting there. They have upgraded the press box.
Okay.
They have upgraded some of the parking situation.
Okay.
We used to have to park over by the golf course, Tito.
With shuttle?
And yeah, but the golf carts that were supposed to shuttle us back and forth, you had no idea when they were going to show up or if they were going to show up. You can kind of squint and see the stadium over there. But I don't want to be right, but I told Berm on Saturday, because he was looking at the extended forecast, it's going to be 61 and the sun's out. I said, there's no way. There's no chance. And then every day since then, the chance of precipitation is going up, the temperature is going down, the sun is disappearing. But I'm still looking forward to it. Love getting on the road. These games away from home give me some opportunities to wander around for the notebook afterwards that are a little bit it's certainly showing some different sides across the Big Ten, some different scenes, and then hanging out around the locker room after an Ohio State win, which I assume is going to happen. And as they get to the bus and roll up, like they're always in a good mood on the road. And so the coverage opportunities are bountiful, and hopefully I can pack a large enough umbrella that we can survive and make that come off well.
I looked at the weather forecast just now, and during the day it says 57 degrees.
Lies.
Mostly cloudy, of course. Okay. It says for
Fully
the evening, cloudy with periods of rain. So when you're driving back, winds
great.
north at 10 to 15 miles an hour, chance of rain 70%. It also says on here, waning gibbous. That's the moon.
Okay.
Do either of you have any idea what a waning gibbous moon is?
Well, yeah, it's the opposite of a waxing gibbous.
Okay.
I got to be honest with you, Tito. I've never heard those words in my entire life.
I'm not even sure.
Not together, at least.
I'm not even sure if gibbous, if I'm pronouncing it right. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Give us.
Okay.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Yes, that's what it is. There's Notre Dame guy coming through again. Waning gibbous, though, is the moon.
Had a big super moon out last night.
Yeah,
that's
I did
what I
see
heard.
that. Yeah.
Sunday, by the way, in West Lafayette, AM snow showers.
Yes.
So
that sounds about right to me.
Yes. So that's
I'm gonna get in and out.
Yes, that is your weather right there. What do you got? Oh, by the way, Nick, I know all of you radio guys outkick your coverage, but does anybody really believe At That Happens could land a woman that could pull Galloway? We can talk about this off the air, Nick. I'm telling you, it's true. Another football player who I was very familiar with also asked my wife out, but she had her standards of no
football players
no football
allowed.
players. I want fat, mediocre radio guy. That right there is my Prince Charming, and that's what she got. Bodie, what's Schleg's got to say?
I'm happy that you say the team up north, and I'm also happy that I say Michigan because, I don't care, right? And then there's, meat chicken and all that. Hey, everybody out there, you do you, man, whatever you want to call them, okay? Here's what I call them. Knock their off. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that matters to me.
I'd be curious to know how that bleep got in there. Did Shark add that later on? Was it dumped in the first place?
Probably get dumped. I think Shark was pretty much on the button there. That we can't dump here is different.
Yeah,
but over there, I think Shark always had a finger on the pulse of that button right there. It was and I think he had it enlarged to a huge button, like a game show stop button, like
It just said Schleg's on.
Yes, that's all it was. It was a different button. Yes.
Speaking of weather, I'll be in South Bend, Indiana on Saturday night.
What's going on there?
51 degrees high.
Woo!
42 low.
Okay.
Rain.
Of course.
I have seen the sun shine in South Bend.
So have I. More than once. Doesn't sound like it's going to be happening for that game Saturday night between the Irish and Navy, but as long as we win, hopefully that's all I care about. What has me juiced today, guys? Kind of should have mentioned this yesterday, and it kind of just slipped my mind as we got to the end of the show. I just want to send Carp and Schlegs and Nick, family, friends, everybody some good wishes there as they went through the celebration of life yesterday. I can't imagine that was a ton of fun to do. Obviously, a very tough time for the Mangold family and friends and whatnot, but hopefully they at least got the chance to have a good celebration there of Nick's life. What also has me juiced? Not nearly as important as that, but I am off tomorrow. I'm going to enjoy a little Thursday. No Brody Thursday.
I thought you were off Friday.
Tito. No, I'm off Thursday. So you did ask me yesterday.
That's fine. I don't. If you really think I listened to everything that I don't listen to stuff fair. I say. Big Mo's in tomorrow.
That's correct. And I'll be back on Friday. Looking forward to sleeping in there, getting some sleep. I've kind of been thinking about this recently. Pretty much every day for quite a while here, I have at least one day off, if not two, through the rest of the year. So I think January might kill me when I have to go back to work.
No. 5 days a week?
What's a 5-day work week?
Oh, I know.
That really might wreck my sleep. But you know what? Today's only November 5th. We'll get to January when we get to January. So that all has me juiced. Also, if possible, I'd like to go ahead and just stamp my approval of the college football playoff bracket right now. A trip to BYU and then a trip to BYU and then a potential quarterfinal against Indiana for the Irish. If I could just go ahead and sign up for that. I know those two teams are good.
Sure.
I'm not saying Notre Dame would beat them for sure or anything, but BYU and Indiana versus the Ohio State, A&M.
Noticeably lacking in SEC opponents.
Georgia, Bama opponents, I would sign that up in a heartbeat. So that all has me juiced today, Tito. What's got you juiced today, sir?
It's got me concerned about tomorrow.
Nope.
Bobby's back. We think.
Maybe.
Should be back. I know, maybe. And we all know he will hijack what's got you juiced.
He will, yeah.
Okay, he will do something very heartfelt, sentimental, deep, and I'm here for that. I am. But so he will go through some kind of like 7-minute thing. Right, about all these things. He'll tear up a little bit. All those things are going to happen. And then he's going to say, Tito, what's got you juiced? And I'm going to say something like, I don't know, peanut butter.
Night football
right, right.
Jackets won last night in Calgary.
Defended NWA. Whatever. It was at Calgary, yeah. So something will happen, though, where I hope Bobby goes long enough where I have no time to say anything.
Just well said, Bob.
Yeah, well said, Bob. I can't possibly top that. Yes, I could just do that, hopefully, but he will somehow make it impossible for me to have a decent one.
You better go first.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Just hijack it and say, I'm going first. Look at me. I'm the captain now.
I don't think I can.
You missed the last couple of days.
He'd probably yell at you.
We're out of rhythm Thursday.
I know.
It's a Tito Thursday.
Right.
Yes.
But yes, what those guys are going through out there, and they the bond they have, and you can and you folks can see it who watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all that, and on the fan app, and then on 10 TV Plus. Like, you can see though how like Bob's emotions are real on that, and we appreciate that he does that. But yes, I'm looking forward to hearing from Bobby how that went out there, because I'm sure it wasn't easy. But like he said, Mangold wouldn't want you to be out there. This is according to Bobby, because I've never met Nick, but Mangold wouldn't want you being depressed out there and sad. He would want you to be loud and celebrating, and so I hope that's what happened. But we'll hear from Bob tomorrow on that one. Thank you, Juicers. Thank you, Austin Ward, even though you made me work harder today because of that damn segment. Bodie, enjoy your day off. Tomorrow on Thursday, with Albert Breer on. We will also have Your Highness on tomorrow as well. Yes, so make sure you tune in for that. We'll do